Celebrate Swahili, where we get you speaking in conversational Swahili real fast. If that's your goal, let's go. We got some very interesting and exciting lessons here for you. The first thing I want to give you today is some action words. Life without action is boring. So we try to stick with the action because that's where life is at. We've got a couple day-by-day action words that people use every day, everywhere in the world. And so that's where we are. We don't want to teach you things that you can never use or you probably will use once in a while. Let's stick with the day-by-day, right? So, kwenda likizo, to go on vacation. Kwenda likizo, to go on vacation. I need to mention that the approach we use here is the same approach that little kids learn a language. When little kids come to this world, they don't know grammar, they don't know the rules of the language, but somehow within just a few, sometimes months, others for years, they're speaking that language like it's an original, because it is an original for them. And so it's good to know the grammar and the rules of the language, and we'll get to that. But we want to make it easy for you, because a lot of times you go to school and you learn all these rules, but you still can't speak the language. So let's try this approach, and it's worked for me. Hopefully it works for you too. Okay, kwenda sokoni, to go to the market. So you can imagine yourself in a Swahili community and you're going to the market. Kwenda sokoni. Kumaliza jambo, to finish it. Kuandika kitabu, to write a book. Wouldn't that be nice? Kusoma kitabu, to read a book. Kupiga simu, to make a call. Kutumia choo, to use the bathroom. Very necessary. Kutembelea rafiki. Kutembelea, I like that one. Kutembelea rafiki, to visit a friend. Kufanya vurugu. Kufanya vurugu, to cause problems. Oh, that's terrible. Kutafuta kazi. Kutafuta kazi, to look for work. Kuishi Nairobi. Kuishi Nairobi, to live in Nairobi. Nairobi is a city in Kenya, which is one of the countries that speaks Swahili. Kucheza mpira, to play ball. Kucheza mpira, to play ball. Kucheza ngoma, to dance. Kucheza ngoma, to dance. Kufika kwa wakati. Kufika kwa wakati, to arrive on time. How wonderful that is. Kurudi nyumbani. Kurudi nyumbani, to return home. Kuongea Kiswahili. Kuongea Swahili, to speak Swahili. Kusamehe na kusahau. Kusamehe na kusahau, to forgive and forget. Hi and welcome back. Wanted to give you some more words here, because on the right hand side we've got the action words. So on the left hand side, what we'll have is statements or sentences that connect you to the right hand side, so you can make something intelligible. You can make something that is simple but clear, and yet it's practical, and it's something people use every day. That's the goal: clear, intelligent, and useful. All right, so nina uzoefu on the left hand side. I tend to. Nina uzoefu, I tend to. Everybody has tendencies, so that can come in real handy. Nina uzoefu. So how do we tie that with the action words on the right hand side? It's very easy. You just take any sentence, any statement, any word that's on the left hand side, plug it in right behind the right hand side, and you've got a completely understandable and sensible statement. Let's give it a shot. Nina uzoefu kwenda likizo. Nina uzoefu kwenda likizo. I tend to go on vacation. See how that works? Pretty easy. All right. Ninapanga, I'm on the second one now. Ninapanga kwenda sokoni. I'm planning to go to the market. I'm planning to go to the market. Ninapanga kwenda sokoni. Nimeamua. I have decided. What a wonderful day when a man or woman decides to do something. Nimeamua. Kumaliza jambo. Kumaliza jambo, to finish it. So I have decided to finish it. And you don't have to match like right to left. You can literally crisscross any statement on the right hand side with the one on the left hand side, and you're still going to be making a lot of sensible sentences that actually are useful for life. So let's give it a shot. For instance, let's try nategemea, or let's just use the one in the bottom there. Natarajia kwenda likizo. I'm expecting to go on vacation. See, that's easy. Now, of course, with every language, there are nuances here and there, so you kind of have to hit me. Like, once you get the hang of things, you'll be okay. If you're afraid to make a mistake, you'll never learn. So let's make some mistakes here as we learn, and then we won't have to make them again, right? Okay. Ninanuia, I'm back on top. Number 4, ninanuia. That's a very important and good word. I intend to. Ninanuia. The first one was I tend to, which is nina uzoefu. And then we've got the fifth one, which is the fourth one, which is I intend to. So we can just say, match it up with the fourth one on the right hand side. Ninanuia kuandika kitabu. I intend to write a book. That'd be great. We can't wait to see that book and read it. Okay, lazima ni. Now here we got a little bit of a different flow because there is no Swahili word for I have to. So you have to use 2 words, which is lazima ni. Lazima ni, I have to kupiga simu. Kupiga simu. So here you got a little bit of a different situation because of the word lazima. You cannot say lazima ni kupiga simu. You have to remove the ni and you say lazima kupiga simu. So that, just put it somewhere in the back of your mind and don't worry about it too much. We'll come back to it later. Okay, ningependa, I'd like. Ningependa kutembelea rafiki. Use any words on this right hand side and you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and read this a little faster so we can cover this lesson. Natumaini, I'm hoping to. Natamani, I desire. Nina imani kwamba. Nina imani kwamba. I have faith that. Again, you could say nina imani, but I wanted it to make sense, so I had to add the kwamba, which is that, kwamba. Nina imani kwamba. I have faith that. Nategemea, I'm depending on. I'm depending on. Nategemea. Natarajia, I'm expecting. I'm expecting. Natarajia. Nangoja, I'm waiting. Nangoja. Nafanya, I'm doing. Nafanya. Nina dhumuni, I have a purpose. Nina dhumuni. Nina sababu, I have a reason. Nina sababu. So, for instance, you can say, Nina dhumuni, if you go straight up, down to the bottom, second one from the bottom, on the right hand. Nina dhumuni kuongea Kiswahili. I have a purpose to speak Swahili. And if you go to the bottom one, Nina sababu, and then go right hand bottom, kusamehe na kusahau. I have a reason to forgive and forget. I have a reason to forgive and forget. Nina sababu kusamehe na kusahau. I'd like to introduce you to the negatives, because everything we've done so far is the positive side of the statement, but everything that's positive has a negative, yin and yang. So right now, these are what you would call the negatives of the words on the left-hand side. So in other words, if you say, nina uzoefu, then you change the nina and add sina, and it's a negative. It's very easy. So nina uzoefu, sina uzoefu. Nina panga, sija panga. Nimeamua, sija amua. Ninanuia, sitanuia. Ni lazima, si lazima. So this is a little different again because it's two words. So you take the si and just plug it in the front of lazima, and that's a negative statement. Ni lazima, au lazima ni, si lazima. Si lazima, niende kupiga simu, for instance. Ningependa, singependa. Please don't worry about finding a way to use this. Just let it be something you keep using little by little. It will stick. Do not try to cram or try to remember too hard. Just let it flow. Go with the flow. I'm telling you, this thing will come at you and you'll be able to speak Swahili with flow and without too much of a hesitation. Okay, so natumaini, I'm hoping that. Situmaini. I guess the rule of thumb is si. Si is negative in Swahili, which is ironic, out of topic here, that in Spanish, si is yes. Si señor. But in Swahili, si is negative. It's no. But si does not mean no. Si means, if you want to say no in Swahili, you say hapana, au la, or la. But here you would say sina, nina, sina. Nina imani kwamba, sina imani kwamba. Nategemea, sitegemei. Natarajia, sitarajii. Now, you do notice that there's a little bit of a change here with some of these words, like napenda, sipendi. Natarajia, sitarajii. So the end of the word does get conjugated a little bit, but we'll get to that in the next slide. Don't worry about it. We'll get to it here in a minute. Nangoja, singoji, or singojei. Nakwenda, siendi. Nafanya, sifanyi. Nina dhumuni, sina dhumuni. Nina sababu, sina sababu. Now here's where we learn a few tricks to the language. And the trick is, the words ningependa can also be shortened to napenda. But there is a little bit of a twist there. Ningependa, napenda. So when you say ningependa, and someone else says napenda, it's exactly the same thing. It's just a shortened version of ningependa. Ninategemea, nategemea, exactly the same thing. Same thing. Ninatarajia, natarajia. It's exactly the same thing. To me, this is so important because if you don't know a language and you just learn to say it one way and someone else talks and they say something different, it kind of throws you out of kilt because you don't know what they're saying. But it's exactly the same thing. Ninakwenda, nakwenda. Remember now, you get to choose how you're going to say it, but then the language decides how the negative of it will come out. So for instance, if you want to say ningependa, and then someone else wants to say I don't want, but they want to use the same conjugation, then you would say ningependa, and they say singe. But if you say napenda, they want to answer in the negative, they would say sipendi. So that changes the ending of penda to sipendi. So I guess to keep it simple, just use the longer version and you won't have to conjugate too much at this point in time. Later on, once you have a mastery of the language, you can do whatever you want to do with it. But for now, I would recommend go with ningependa. That way the negative is singependa. You're only changing the beginning of the word. And same thing with ningetamani, I would desire. You would say singetamani. But if you use a short version, you say natamani, then sitamani. The short version is the street language, but it actually is accepted elsewhere, everywhere. A little practice here for you. I have decided, nimeamua to look for work, kutafuta kazi. See, very easy. Nimeamua kutafuta kazi. Good job. Okay, let's do one more. I'm expecting to visit a friend. Natarajia kutembelea rafiki. Isn't that beautiful? Let's do one more. I'm hoping to arrive on time. Ninatumaini kufika kwa wakati. Ninatumaini. Remember that one? The third one down there? Ninatumaini kufika kwa wakati. To arrive on time. That's always a good thing. I'm going to give you one more. I have a goal to play football. Nina lengo kucheza mpira. All right, good job. I desire to dance. How about that? I desire to dance. Ninatamani kucheza ngoma. One more. I don't desire to dance. So let's try a negative response here. Ninatamani kucheza ngoma. That's the positive, but not the negative. I don't desire to dance. Sitamani kucheza ngoma. Sitamani kucheza ngoma. Wow, let's try another negative. I don't want to use the bathroom. And I gave you two ways to answer that because there is a more common way of saying that. Either way it works. You can say singependa kutumia choo. I don't want to use the bathroom. Choo is bathroom. Choo. Sina haja ya kwenda choo. Sina haja ya kwenda choo. That's the more common way, sina haja. And that simply means I don't have a need. I have no need for the bathroom. Sina haja ya kwenda choo. I have no goal to cause problems. Isn't that wonderful? I have no goal. Problems is vurugu. Kufanya vurugu. The third one down from top. Kufanya vurugu. No goal. Sina lengo. Sina lengo. Kufanya vurugu. You could use the la because the lengo is it's a singular word. If you're going to say, I have no goals, you would say malengo, malengo. But today we're not learning that. We'll get to that later. Or you can say, sina lengo kufanya vurugu. Either way, it's fine. Okay, here's a good one. I'm going to live in Nairobi. You can substitute Nairobi for New York, Los Angeles, Paris, Berlin, Moscow. You can say, I'm going to live in the village, in the city, in the country. But in this case, we're talking about Nairobi. And I chose Nairobi because it's one of the cities where Swahili is spoken. So I'm going to live in Nairobi. Nakwenda kuishi Nairobi. Nakwenda kuishi London. Nakwenda kuishi London. Again, remember the rule of thumb here. You could say nakwenda or you could say ninakwenda. Same thing. Nakwenda, ninakwenda. Same thing. Well, that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. You know, Swahili is a beautiful language and people love speaking Swahili. It's becoming more and more popular. So I wish you the best in your journey to learning Swahili. Come back here as many times as you need to. And I will see you on the next one.